keep fucking up. That was me, like, for about 2 weeks. You know, I committed myself into this 30-day video challenge, and my first few days were just roadblock after roadblock. So now, 2 weeks into this process, there are a few things that I've learned, and I'm here to share those with you. So the first thing that I discovered was have a plan. Yeah, absolutely have a fucking plan. As much as I talk about systems and process, I guess I didn't realize how important that was before I committed to a 30-day challenge. You know, I had a very loose outline. I had a whole bunch of video topics, ideas that I had, and I thought, well, if I just have the topic and I wake up in the morning, I'll know what to talk about. False. It doesn't work that way. Just because you have a topic, the moment you turn on a camera, you don't even know where you're gonna go because you're gonna start rambling and you're gonna get nervous, and then holy shit, 30 minutes later, you wanna
It wasn't for me believing in my.
So the first thing is to have a bit of a plan. Really plan it out, right? And that might mean plan out your content schedule. Like, what days are you gonna release a video? What days are you gonna put out a post? And what are you gonna talk about on those days? And really plan it out. So I can share with you guys down below a content planner that I've created, which is like a planner for 30 days that help you with the structure of like, okay, when to post what type of content. So once you create a schedule like that, the next thing to do is to actually think about the actual content. First, yeah, there's a schedule, but like, what are you gonna talk about? You can't just make it up in the morning, because that's when it gets really overwhelming, is when you don't really have a theme, you haven't really prepared anything, and then you have to make up shit on the spot. So there are many different structures. You can do the simplest one, which is, okay, this week the theme is all about mindset. So every single piece of content that you're gonna create is about mindset. Next week is gonna be all about money. So every topic is about money. And then that's one way to do it. Otherwise, you can do every Monday is Motivational Monday, every Tuesday is tips for Tuesdays, whatever it is. I prefer to be able to plan in that manner where it's structured in a certain way so that I just know all the days how to operate, and it doesn't feel random. And then once you plan out those topics, my best advice is to actually sit down and write down points about that topic beforehand. When it comes to creating content, it's very easy to feel overwhelmed because you don't have the right structure for it. And the best way to actually create content is to bulk create content. So that means putting aside a day or two during a week and creating a lot of content at once. Otherwise, if you were to sit and create content every day, it can be very overwhelming, because now you just feel like all I do every single day is create content. So what I started doing is I started batch creating content on certain days. That might mean that I film 3 videos in a day and write 5 posts in a day. So then now I have content for the next week, and it's all done in one day. So that's kind of how you manage that stress and that overwhelm, is by doing it all in one day. And before I started filming these videos, I would literally just write the topic of the video down, and then that's it. But then as I start the video, I don't know what my call to action is, so there's no way to conclude the video. And I started having all these videos that just ended on like so that's it, that's all I wanted to share, okay, bye. But then now your audience is like, what the fuck was the point of your video, right? So always understand what your call to action is at the end of the video. Maybe it's like, here, go and create a landing page, or go and create a banner on Canva. But have a point to that video. For me, I'm a bit of a visual person, so I actually like to jot down the biggest points of the video. Maybe like your 3 biggest takeaways, or like the 3 biggest talking points of the video, and write it down. Write it down on a piece of paper and use it as reference. And if you are very content heavy in your video, create a slideshow and then use a slideshow for yourself to look at, or for you to share and display on the screen of your video, because that's a very easy way for you to stay on track with what you want to talk about. I realized that some of my best videos were ones that I actually created like a mini slideshow for, so that I knew my exact talking points and I wouldn't ramble. And it got to the point where my cuts, like my video cuts of like the raw footage, were so short, it would only be a few minutes extra from the actual content that I needed myself. And that's because I knew exactly what I wanted to talk about. I kept the video short and concise, and I wrote down my points. So that's the fastest way for you to iterate and create content, is to actually plan it out. And then the other one is also thinking about what your actual like process looks like. Are you gonna be the one editing all your videos, or are you gonna outsource that? Who's gonna create any thumbnails? Who's gonna write the copy, right? It's not just about creating the video. There's so many other parts about that. There's like your upload schedule. What is that gonna look like? Who's gonna upload it? Are you gonna edit it? Who's gonna edit it? And then you have to think about all these details, because if you're doing it while every single day and you haven't planned this out, you can be really stressed out when things feel hectic and chaotic. So the best thing to do is, what I do right now is I actually outsource my video editing to someone that I found on Upwork, because video editing is just not my thing. It takes me a lot longer. I'd rather focus on creating content and providing value than like sitting on a computer crying why I cannot create the right Premiere effect. So outsource it. You might think it's expensive, but how much time and money are you wasting sitting there, right? Like, time is money. So if you're gonna sit there and spend 4 hours editing a 10-minute video, it's not interesting to me. It's not interesting to you, because you're losing money by doing that. So really have a process, and then put it in your schedule, right? It comes down to being very organized and having a plan. If you want to just jump into it haphazardly, not planning what you want to talk about, not planning who's going to edit it, not planning all that stuff, it's very easy for your social media campaign or your content to fail and get no traction. And also, it comes back to what your goal is. For me, creating my content, the sole goal was to commit to myself and prove to myself that I can do 30 days of this. It's really, really hard. But it says something about me, the fact that I've committed to 30 days of creating videos. And I want my potential clients and future clients and everybody out there to see that if you put your mind to it, you can do it. And I put all excuses aside, vacations, birthday, anniversaries, like, I don't care. I am meeting this deadline because I told myself I would, right? So I'm really trying to lead by example, and that was my goal. So when I look at who's actually viewed my videos, so, yeah, you can be really sad if you're like, I spent $100 on this video and took me 2 days to create the content, but only 10 people watched it. It can be a little bit upsetting. But the thing is with content creation is you don't know what's gonna work and you don't know what's gonna resonate unless you keep trying and unless you keep putting content out there. The way you blow up and get viral content is just by creating more content. You're gonna learn what people like. But if you never put anything out, you're never gonna learn what people like. And then on top of that, it's like getting better at the process. Like, the more videos I create, the more comfortable I feel on camera. And every single thing that I'm putting out, I feel myself getting better every single day, right? When you first started to learn how to walk, it wasn't perfect. Can you walk now? Yes. And that's because you put in years and years of practice. And it's the same thing with content creation. I'm not gonna get it right on day one, but if I don't have a day one, I'm never, ever, ever gonna get it right. So when it comes to doing anything like this, like, really, really put that at the front of your mind, that it's gonna suck, it's gonna be shitty, and you're gonna be nervous, but you're not gonna get better unless you keep trying. And honestly, my first few videos that I created, it was super uncomfortable because it's weird not talking to a person, but talking to a camera. And then you kind of lose your train of thought. But now it's just gotten so much easier because I in my head, all I think about is, like, what knowledge can I share with you guys today that might teach you something and make you have a better and happier life? So I kind of switched that mindset, and it's just a lot easier for me to create content. And then something that my friend taught me was, imagine you're talking to your best friend and she just asked you a question and you're trying to explain it. And then just talk to the camera as if you're talking to her. And that helped me so much because I started becoming myself. Look, I'm using my hands, but when you first start on camera, you're kind of like super awkward. But when you get into it, like, there's a rhythm and it's super, super fun. And that's how I've landed here, like day 14 or something now. And I feel fucking great. Like, I love filming. I get really excited when I wake up and I have to film because all I want to do is share knowledge with the world. So that was it for today's video. It's just how to start creating content if you're new and if you're nervous. And the biggest thing I can tell you is just do it. Just fucking do it. That's it. It's so much fun. The first few days are gonna be really shit and no one's gonna watch and you're gonna wanna cry, but it's not about that, okay? It's about getting yourself out there, getting out of your comfort zone, and then One day you're gonna wake up and you're actually gonna enjoy it, or it's gonna feel a little bit less comfortable. But that's all it is just practice. Nothing ever feels comfortable when you first start doing it. Like the first time you had sex, how is that? Like, you know, that's what I'm talking about. It's just gonna get better over time. You're gonna love it over time. So now I'm rambling. Anyways, that is all for today's video. Go and watch the rest of my videos when I first started the challenge, and you can see just how much everything has changed. I've gotten myself an editor, I got myself an intro, like boom, 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 fucking leveling up. And that is all I'm trying to show you, is that you can do the exact same thing. I'm not anyone special, I just fucking stuck with it, and you better try that. Otherwise, you don't have an excuse of why you're failing. You're failing because you chose to fail, okay? All right, see you guys in tomorrow's video.
I love you like la 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 la.